feature Jonathan, or did that kind of just come naturally?
Well, I entered overtime just wanting to play great defense, so I put Loon and Cott, and then we needed JK's ability to beat the switches and to get downhill, and he just took over. He was fantastic. I figured I was going to give Buddy a couple minutes. He had played probably 18 straight minutes, so we just thought let's try to get some stops to start overtime. That's why we had Wiggs, JK. We had a big athletic lineup out there, and that was the key because they were we got probably 5 straight stops to start overtime, and then JK just took over at the other end.
One of the questions, Marks, about you guys offensively is when you get pressurized moments, can you just shot make, create?
Yeah.
I mean, how good was it to see tonight? Kuminga did that, but even Podziemski late in regulation that you guys did kind of get your own.
Yeah, Brandon made some huge shots down the stretch of regulation. We should have put it away at that point. We had that weird advance with the timeout. We had, when we had a 3-point lead, 2-point lead, I guess. And we only had 4 seconds to get it across. So, we probably put Draymond in a tough spot, with that inbound pass. But I was so proud of the guys for the way they responded to what was an onslaught from Houston that second half and especially fourth quarter.
Good to get experience in games like this?
Great experience, yeah, great experience. And, to win after Draymond fouls out, to win without Steph, to win on a night when the game just completely flipped. As good as we were in the first half, they basically went small and switched everything and caused us a lot of problems. And so it's great to have that game on tape. It's great to feel it because we're going to have to get better when we face that kind of defense.
Just beyond the overtime session, how do you feel like Jonathan has settled in these last few games?
It's been great. He's this is the third game in a row he's come off the bench, and these were his 3 best games. I think the way he's responded to a role change is perfect. That's what we expect. The professionalism, the force that he brought. Coming off the bench and playing the way he has. That's a huge sign of growth, and couldn't be more proud of JK.
How do you overall feel this roster will handle? You mentioned they switched everything, kind of forced you guys to try to beat them one-on-one. Was shaky for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, as you look bigger picture, how do you feel like this off?
Yeah, I mean, what's tough, obviously, without Steph, I mean, that's going to be, even tougher to play against switching without him. So, we've got to do a better job of, finding execution in those spots, knowing they're going to switch everything. Got to get the ball to our athletes who in positions to beat guys off the dribble, which is what JK did in the overtime. So as coaches, we have to do better. We've got to start looking at that. And but again, I'm really happy with the way the guys responded, and they got it done.
You talk sometimes after games saying like the right team won. Did the right team win?
Yeah, right team won. We dominated that game for 3 quarters. Very unfortunate end to the third. We had a couple turnovers. We really should have gone into the fourth, I think, up about 20. They made a great run. And but we controlled the game for the most part, but I give them a lot of credit because Houston played so hard that second half. And it's part of the reason I think they only scored 2 points in overtime. I think they were tired, and again, that's why we put our defensive lineup out there, thinking, let's just rely on stops and then find a way to score. And JK was the guy who found a way.
It feels like last season you guys had several games like this, but we lost them. I don't know if it's simple to say you would have lost this game last year, but is it like pulling one of these he's out? I mean, is that a good sign?
It's a great sign, yeah. We have a really good vibe this year. I mean, you guys who are around the team, you can feel it. Everybody's really pulling together, and we're playing a lot of people, and there haven't been any complaints, about playing time, and a lot of good stuff. A lot of people are chipping in and playing well and stepping up. And I think a lot of times your attitude, your approach, there's a karma to that. And frankly, we've got really good karma this year, and I think we'll improve with our execution. But I really like this team. Thanks. Go ahead.
Just the way you guys defended Green and Van Vliet, but especially Green in the pick and roll with traps, icing on the sideline. How effective was that strategy, and was that kind of what you game planned for?
Yeah, you've seen the way we've played this year. We're trying to disrupt teams. We've got a lot of athleticism. We've got guys who can pressure the ball. And so the traps in the first half, I thought, were very disruptive. And, we didn't force a ton of turnovers, but we took them out of their rhythm, and that was really helpful.
Kerr Podziemski with monster buckets in that fourth quarter, but as much as we had fun watching it and calling it, tell us about being up 31. Rockets come all the way back. It goes to overtime. You played in it. Tell us.
Yeah, they just ramped up our pressure and they pushed us out away from the basket. Looked at it like, the only way to attack pressure is with your own pressure. And I think those 3 buckets I had, that's just kind of what I try to do. If they want to pressure, I'm just go by instead of trying to get into something offensively, because I know I can get past my man and then the dominoes fall from there. So I think we'll learn from it. We'll grow from it, and I think we started to do that in overtime. You saw JK take his man, and then someone else has to step up and help guard. So I think that's the only way to attack pressure is with your own pressure.
And when things were getting frantic there and some of the turnovers were happening, how did you individually kind of slow your mind down and have that much poise as a young player in this league? It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm slow myself, so I never try to get sped up. But the one thing my people back home has been stressing to me is when they try to speed you up, you slow down, and when they slow down, you speed up. And so just kind of took that into consideration, and I know they were all amped because they're on a run, so they're trying to be extra aggressive. And when they get extra aggressive, you just slow down and play at your pace. I think guys like Luka, even Steph, do a really good job of that. So for me, not having Steph out there and me being the floor general, that just was my mindset.
What's it like to win a game like this to start a road trip? All the other wins have been kind of double-digit free and easy. This is, this was a heart attack game, and you guys came through to win it. What does that do for the mindset for the next 4 games on the trip?
Yeah, it's big. The schedule doesn't get any easier from here. Chris used to say last year you can't win them all if you don't win the first one. And we came out here and won the first one, and a bunch of times last year we were up 30, up 20, and we blew it and we lost. And it shows that the group is resilient even without some of our key guys missing. And I think it's important for team morale. We had to come together. We had to figure it out. It was just us 15 on the bench, and everyone else was against us. So I think it's big for the road trip, but it's also big for us in the locker room.
What are the talks like in the huddles after you've made 12 threes in the first half, and then you're not shooting it the exact same way? What are you thinking offensively? What are you trying to get to? The free throw line? What are the talks like?
Yeah, I think we were trying to draw some things to alleviate the pressure, but like I said, the only way to attack pressure is with your own pressure. And, they do a good job of putting 5 guards out there. You saw Sengun and Jock Landale didn't play much in the second half, so they rolled with their 5-guard, their lineup. And, we just have to beat our individual man. And I think, we're NBA players, and we work on stuff in the offseason, and I think that's just kind of where it came into for me. And I know JK the same way. And so it was just, just do your thing. Obviously, we try to draw some stuff up, but they're going to try to take that away. So at the end of the day, it's time to get a bucket.
At the end of the day, it's a W. Brandon, we appreciate you stopping.
Yep.
Thanks so much.
Great work,
man. Kerr Podziemski with a